All right, we're going to look at the first verse here. The first few lines say, y is greater than 3x plus 5. Graph using y-intercept and slope and shade above the dotted line. So let's break down what that means here. We start off with our inequality. Y is greater than 3x plus 5. We're going to graph using the y-intercept and slope since this inequality is already in slope-intercept form. Y is isolated on one side by itself. And then we shade above the dotted line because it says y is greater than 3x plus 5. So all of your y values that are above that expression are going to be above your line. The line will be dotted since it is greater than. There's no equal to, which means all of the points that are on your actual line are not solutions to your inequality. And that's why we represent that with a dotted line. So let's see how we're going to break that down using our gestures. To start with, y is greater than 3x plus 5. We're going to go y is greater than 3x plus 5. Graph using the y-intercept. And what we're going to do is we're going to do short, quick motions like this with our hands to show that we are having a dotted line. And our slope is 3, so it's going to be a relatively steep line. And then when it says in shade above, we will already have made our line. And then we're going to do this to represent shading above. So the next few lines, let's look at those. Y is less than or equal to x plus 9. This goes on the same graph. Shade below the solid line. So breaking that apart, we have our second inequality. Y is less than or equal to x plus 9. This has an equal to, which is why it will be a solid line. Since it's less than, your y values less than that line would be below your line that you've drawn. So we'll have to represent shading below. So let's break down what that's going to look like. Y is less than or equal to x plus 9. We're going to do our arm like this to show that it's equal to, not just less than. This goes on the same line, so we're going to make our line. And notice my arms are not as steep as my first line since the slope is smaller. The slope is 1. And then to shade below, we're going to do this right here. Shade below the line. Okay? The next 3 lines. Graphing 2 linear inequalities. Do this one, then that. Look for the shaded area that overlaps. So now that we have our 2 inequalities on the graph, we're going to do graphing 2 linear inequalities. This was our first. This one will be done, and we'll say, and that, to represent our solid line. Hands straight out, a little less steep. Look for the shaded area above and below. So this represents our shading above and below that overlaps. So putting that together, graphing 2 linear inequalities, this one and that. Look for the shaded region that overlaps. The last few lines of this verse, that's the solution for this system. So to show that's the solution, we're going to do this. Right here in the middle, because this is where our shaded common region is. This is what I'm telling you, and we'll point to the camera. Those are the coordinates that make both inequalities true. Since our coordinates, there's multiple coordinates now. Since it's a shaded region of overlapping coordinates, we're going to do this to show multiple answers. And those are the coordinates that make both inequalities true. So putting that together, that's the solution for this system. This is what I'm telling you. Those are the coordinates that make both inequalities true. So let's do this with music and see if we can put it all together.
Y is greater than 3x plus 5. Graph using the y-intercept and slope and shade above the dotted line. Y is less than or equal to x plus 9. This goes the same graph, shade below the solid line. Graphing 2 linear inequalities. Do this one then that. Look for the shaded area that overlaps. That's the solution for this system. This is what I'm telling you. Those are the coordinates that make both inequalities true. 2 lines in a system.
Okay, let's try that again. Go through it one more time with the music.
3x plus 5. Graph using the y-intercept and slope and shade above the dotted line. Y is less than or equal to x plus 9. This goes the same graph shape below the solid line. Graphing two linear inequalities, do this one then that. Look for the shaded area that overlaps. That's the solution for this system. This is what I'm telling you. Those are the coordinates that make both inequalities true. Two lines in a system.
All right, let's go to verse 2.